So after looking at logs, and then also the other day when I went and did the two-step check up the road, which I only did maybe 2 or 3 different runs at it, I looked at the line temperatures and didn't like what it was doing. So I kind of figured that the current transmission cooler was not enough. I went ahead and got one of those 40K deals. I got mine off Amazon. And then, oh, they sent me a black one. Okay, I ain't mad at that. If I'm not mistaken, I paid for the silver, which was cheaper, and they sent me a black one. Which, this thing is still big. That's bigger than my grill almost. Hopefully this thing makes a huge difference. I never really understood how radiators work. Maybe I need to go watch a video or something. And this one must have been used. It came, or at least sold before, because it came a little bent already. But we'll bend that back out. That'd be cool. So we got us a 40K. Now we just got to figure out how to put it, where to put it in the car. That's what we about to do. I don't know. We starting off not looking all that good. This looks like a huge problem. What do you think? It's way bigger. Like, you know, you got everything that kind of lines up behind there. Now this is my oil cooler, which actually looks just like this one, but smaller. Well, I won't say just like it, but it looks like it, but smaller. And it does have the tab parts at the top. So I don't know, maybe that would work, but I don't know if it would actually fit across like this, right? My next thing to look at is see if it would go straight up and down. So I'm gonna try to see if that works. Maybe I need to take this small one out first. Oh man, so of course, you know, you ain't doing no work unless you spill stuff everywhere. But I got the old one out. That's the old one compared to the new one. Shoot, if this thing don't change by 50 degrees, I'm gonna be upset. But yeah, everywhere. Do got some space in there. I'm thinking to sit it in there like this. I don't know what that'll do, and if it'll go high enough to where it's not protruding out the bottom and I ain't got to worry about it getting hit. But right now that's looking like my only option, instead of putting it somewhere totally different. So I don't know, because I got that little bar right there that's keeping me from just kind of sliding it down in there and going all the way across. We'll have to figure something out. But yeah, that's crazy. So basically going from that to that. Now that's crazy. Okay, so I'm probably going to use these a certain way. I'll have to show you that once I get up under there and it's up. But put in that liquid thread sealant. So I'm going to put these in. So I went ahead and did that. Let's go ahead and put these babies in. First place I thought to put it, I'm not liking it. I think it sits way too low. And I like for things to be stealth. Reference. Like even back here, you can still see it. Like really, you can just barely see the intercooler if you're looking for it. I don't think I want the transmission cooler to be sitting that low. So I'm gonna have to find somewhere else to put it. Hopefully I can find somewhere else to put it. But I don't think it's gonna stay there. So I got this idea when I was getting out of my car and walking into the house, and I noticed something on the truck. So check this out. Like, this made me think that I might have a project on my hands, but look at this. So you can see how that cooler right there is like angled and everything. Maybe, just maybe, I can do that on the car for this transmission cooler. Like, I was really kind of wondering what was going on, because if you remember, you know, I had kind of put it up pretty easy, but I don't like that. So I think I'm gonna take that down and maybe see if I can put it up some other way. So after looking at some older logs and thinking about how I, you know, what it is when I do race, it is usually pretty hot outside, at least to start. So I was getting some very, very high intake air temperatures, which means that my intercooler, being that it's not getting any airflow because it's sitting behind the bumper, because it sits basically right there, right behind it. So while doing my lawn routine, of course, I kind of tried to see what it would look like to cut it, and then I kind of got it set in a pretty decent spot to where you can see there it's going to need quite a bit of cleanup, but then it kind of got real much smoother right there. And when I got on that roll, I kind of kept going, but I'm going to take it over to the edge here, come down, take it back over this way to the edge, come down, and then come across this way. And I tell you what would be sweet, and if I don't have a 3D printer or know anybody that does, but once I cut it, somebody that could basically print like a ram, like kind of a ram air kind of thing, to where it fits the hole that I cut, and then goes straight back to where the intercooler is. So all the air comes in, and then none of it goes like out and down or whatever. All of it goes straight into where the intercooler is. So I mean, if you got a 3D printer or some way to make something like that, and you want to, you know, help your boy out, hit me up. I'm on Instagram, 2whitehorse8, or I think now you can send messages on YouTube. So that'd be sweet. Let me know. Back at it next day. Got my little plasma cutter back set up, and about if we can kind of complete this cut to see what it's gonna look like, and then see about how we might be able to clean it up too. So I'll check that out. Now this is that more than I bargained for moment right here. This metal right here, I mean, I didn't know it went all the way down there. I actually thought it might have been just one piece. So if I cut through those, like, I thought this went all the way down, not and back. So now I'm gonna have to cut this, but this is thick enough to where it's not like coming down. So it seems like I'm gonna have to cut here, and then I'm gonna have to cut on the top back there, and then I'm gonna have to cut on the bottom back there to make it a full, you know, go through. And then I'm gonna have to clean this up. So I basically pulled out the Sawzall and cut here and then all the way down, and same thing on this side, here and all the way down. And then I bent this up, bent that up in order to be able to fit the plasma cutter in here. I'm about to take these screws out, which should be this top piece here. Just like I thought, once them screws came out, then that back piece came right there. Okay, so I got that top back piece out so that it just flows straight through. Now I'm about to clean this piece right here up, and to do that I'm gonna use my angle grinder. I went ahead and put on my protective glasses because somebody I worked with before, you know, taught me a lesson that I always need to wear protective glasses. Right? grinder piece cleaned it up quite a bit. Actually, I'm gonna go back and do these sides right here too. Okay, so now that's been cleaned up, you know, the sides and everything. Looks pretty decent for, you know, not taking it off the car and all that kind of stuff. But now you can see what was behind that piece of cardboard, just so it didn't, you know, throw a bunch of shards and everything in there. My intercooler has been there pretty much the whole time, but it's never got direct shot of air. So now I should actually have lower intake air temps, which is better for, you know, cooler air going into the engine is basically equal to more power. After removing some parts and everything, I believe I got, well, not believe, I got the transmission cooler to fit behind the grill area. So it's gonna sit behind the grill area. Now, it's not a done deal yet. One, I need some 90-degree fittings. This is a 5/8 MPT and probably a 3/8 here, which, you know, they super rare. Nobody sells them, right? Then, outside of that, now that's my oil cooler. I gotta figure out somewhere to put that. So, not out of the woods just yet, but I think I might be able to try to do something to get it to work. I gotta find a place to order these. It's probably gonna take a few days. So, yeah, we'll end up getting on that a little later. My pieces came in. This is the new piece. Gives me that 90-degree that I need to be able to put this up, the transcooler up as high as possible. And then, you know, this is the old one. It still works, it's just not for my application. So basically, I'm going from that to that. Well, I think that's gonna work. That's actually holding itself up without even being screwed in. So this piece right here is kind of like squishing it down here, not to the point where it's messing up the fins, but it's holding it up. And then now I'm thinking, if I take this piece that was in here before, and, you know, also trying to make sure I'm not messing up the fins, but let's see if we can get that in there. Move that out the way. But yeah, if I can fit that over there and screw this back in here, then maybe I can get at least the top two sets of bolts on that in between here. So I think all of this might actually work, and that'll be sweet. Well, by George, it's actually working. So to start the backstrap piece, I'm actually just putting it here and then marking it. So I'm gonna mark it, not that mark, so I'll do it on the other side. But I'm gonna mark it kind of to where it's lined up with this bracket here. And then after I do that, I'm actually gonna use that part that makes my truck a truck and bend it, since it's just so thin. You know, since it's that thin, I can just do it like that. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go with that, backstrap it up, get it, you know, tied together, and I think that'll be straight. Okay, so maybe I have been sleeping on the bolted down vise thing. I've had this vise for a while, but I've always been doing it using one hand to actually hold stuff. And now, not only was I able to bend this piece, but now I'm actually gonna be able to drill this hole without trying to hold it all funky. Yeah, that's cool. This Texas heat got me out here with the light super late at night, so it's not so hot. And really, I got the fan just so I don't get ate up by mosquitoes. It don't feel too bad out here right now, but coming out here in 100-degree weather sometimes just be like, ugh. But I got the transmission cooler up, relocated the oil cooler, and then we got temporary air hole for the intercooler. So my intake air temp should be down. Hopefully this does something about my transmission line temp, and then oil cooler still in effect, and it should be okay. Gonna take a ride pretty soon. Make sure there are no well, crank it up tomorrow. That way I don't ruin my relationship with my neighbors. Check for leaks and everything before we take a ride, and then take a ride to see just how much those temperatures drop. Hopefully they drop a lot, or at least stay more and more stable than they were before. And then, you know, just kind of go from there, get back on the tuning and other things, make sure stuff is right. Get on that ride on the next video. Until then, holla at y'all.